Hi all. Life is a miracle. Every birth, every stage of growth is a gift from God, and families mark these changes with photos and anniversaries. All of these beautiful milestones are remembered, but the most important changes aren't external but internal. Who we're becoming on the inside. And in the Christian life, this is called spiritual formation. Last week, we considered the three aims of an apprentice of Jesus: to be with Jesus, to become like Jesus, and to do as he did. Spiritual formation is the process by which our inner lives are shaped either into Christ-likeness or into something else. Paul names this reality in Romans 12:2. He writes, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The two Greek verbs Paul uses in this passage suggest that we are always being formed by something. There is no neutral option. No one escapes formation because culture shapes us without us even noticing. Meaning that most of our formation happens unintentionally, passively. The real question is not if we're being formed, but by who or what. Paul wanted the Christians in Rome to see that Roman religion, Roman stories, and Roman practices were shaping them into Romans. The way of Jesus calls us instead to be transformed into his likeness. The reality is that we're all shaped by our habits, relationships, the stories we believe, and our environment over time through experiences. And these forces are always at work. But through the Spirit's power, they can be reoriented toward Christ. And this week, the invitation is to prayerfully reflect on ourselves, to have a look at what those forces are and what those forces are shaping us to become. Attached to the sermon notes is a guide that helps us to name these forces shaping us. And it's not about shame or guilt, but it's designed to help us consider how to intentionally participate in the transforming work of the Holy Spirit as he works in our lives. This all happens not by our own grit or our own determination, but by opening our hearts to God and choosing to cooperate with his Spirit. Finally, before we add any new practices to our lives this week, it might be wiser to consider what needs to be removed. Perhaps deleting a distracting app or limit time that we spend on Netflix or watching the news. Remember, formation is always happening. The only question is, into what or into whom are we being formed? Have a good week, all.